In episode 22, Aesh and Mercan decide to spend their final night together in the same room. Standing by the window, they look at the stars one last time, talking about how beautifully they shine here. Watching this moment, I felt deeply sorry for both of them. They hide their love, afraid to confess it, and instead torture themselves with silence. It's painful and even frustrating to watch. Be sure to share your thoughts about this in the comments. Before the video begins, if you haven't watched the previous episode and want to understand how events unfolded, don't forget to visit my channel and watch the earlier episodes. Aesh and Mercan wish each other good night and prepare to lie down. Aesh asks whether he should turn off the light or leave it on. Mercan smiles and tells him to do whatever he wants. Surprised, Aesh asks why she smiled. Mercan replies that she remembered how many times they used to argue even about something as small as the light. Aesh laughs softly and says she always argued with him on purpose. Mercan answers that he wasn't any better. Aesh smiles and says, "See? We've already started arguing again." Looking at Mercan, Aesh thinks that he will miss every moment they shared, even their arguments. Mercan wishes him good night one last time and hands him a pillow. Aesh wishes her good night as well, takes the pillow, and lies down on the couch. From their separate places, they look at each other with sadness. Soon, Mercan falls asleep, but Aesh cannot. Quietly, Aesh gets up, sits on the edge of Mercan's bed, gently strokes her hair and face and whispers, "You are my Mercan." Then he turns off the night lamp beside her. Morning comes. Aesh and Mercan open their eyes at the same time and look at each other in silence. After a moment, Mercan's alarm rings. They both get up. Mercan grabs her suitcase and begins packing. Aesh remarks that she left everything for the last minute. Mercan calmly replies that she'll be ready in 2 minutes. Aesh wants to say, "Stay. Don't leave," but his words stumble. All he manages is, "You." Mercan looks at him, waiting for him to continue. Instead, Aesh tells her to hurry and pack, saying that his people will take her to the airport. Slightly hurt and irritated, Mercan replies that there's no need, she'll go by herself. Aesh understands her tone and doesn't argue. He simply says it will be as she wishes and leaves the room. When Mercan is ready, a taxi is called. Everyone except Aesh goes outside to see her off. The servants load her suitcase into the car. At the moment of farewell, Mercan looks at her mother and softly says, "Mommy." Nerman hugs her and assures her that everything will be fine, telling her to enjoy life in London, take walks, and smile. Then Hyder steps forward and gently says, "My daughter." He wishes her a safe journey, tells her that he will always be there for her and that he loves her very much, and hugs her tightly. Hyder loves Mercan deeply, as all fathers do. Watching this scene, I couldn't hold back my tears. It reminded me of my own father, just as caring, just as loving. Sadly, he is no longer with us, and I miss him very much. I believe many of you love your fathers the same way I do, and the same way Mercan loves hers. If you feel the same, please leave a like under the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Muzian and Semel also watch Mercan prepare to leave. Muzian tells Semel that the farewell isn't over yet and that she dislikes scenes of separation, then asks him to go back inside. After Muzian leaves, Semel pauses, looking at Mercan as if he wants to say something important, but he doesn't dare. Silently, he returns to the house. Meanwhile, Asli stands on the balcony, thinking to herself that Mercan is finally leaving this house, and that soon she may leave this bright world as well. In her twisted thoughts, Asli believes she will finally be rid of Mercan forever. With a heavy heart, Mercan tells her parents that the longer they stand there, the harder it becomes for her, and asks them to let her leave quickly. She also says goodbye to Banaz and Barat. Just as Mercan is about to get into the taxi, Aesh comes out of the house and walks toward her. Seeing him, Mercan stops and waits. They look at each other with tears in their eyes, but neither says a word. Then Mercan gets into the taxi, and the car drives away. Inside his thoughts, Aesh whispers, "Don't go, Mercan," but she doesn't hear him. As the taxi disappears down the road, Aesh follows it with his eyes, tears streaming down his face. In the rearview mirror, Mercan sees Atesh running after the car, but she doesn't tell the driver to stop. Later, Atesh gets into his own car and drives to the place where he first met Mercan. There, he remembers the day he saw her for the first time and painfully realizes that he still couldn't say the one word that mattered most: stay. He types a message on his phone. Come back. Don't leave, my mermaid. But he can't bring himself to send it. He deletes the message. Overwhelmed by pain, Atesh climbs a hill and screams at the top of his lungs. Meanwhile, Semel, unable to reach Atesh and consumed by worry, goes out into the yard. When he sees Atesh slowly returning, he rushes toward him, saying he was terrified, didn't know where he had gone, and feared something terrible had happened. At the doorstep, Atesh suddenly freezes. Before his eyes appears Mercan. You haven't left yet? He asks. In the next moment, she disappears. Broken, Atesh sinks deeper into sorrow. Semel asks if he's all right. Atesh replies that everything is fine and quickly walks inside. Semel follows, telling him not to rush and saying it's clear that Atesh is in very bad shape. Suddenly, Atesh stops and admits the truth. He feels terrible, he's falling apart, and he needs to be alone. He says he doesn't want to talk to anyone. Semel tells him it's not too late and that he can still go after Mercan. Atesh replies quietly that now it's already too late. It will be too late if you don't go, Semel insists. And you'll regret it. Atesh says nothing and walks away. Semel calls after him, saying he doesn't understand how two people can love each other so deeply and yet hurt each other and themselves so much. He prays that Allah will help them. Atesh enters his room. As soon as he opens the door, he once again sees Mercan smiling at him. You didn't leave, he whispers. She disappears. Atesh approaches her bed, touches the pillows, opens the wardrobe, and takes her scarf in his hands. Unable to hold back his tears, he gives in to his longing. Then he gathers himself and tells himself that everything will pass, that he will forget. Later, Atesh goes to the back office, where Semel and Asli are talking. Semel asks Asli whether her good mood has anything to do with Mercan's departure. Asli coldly replies that she doesn't care whether Mercan leaves or not. Semel says he knows her well and that she wouldn't be so cheerful without reason, that something else is clearly behind it. At that moment, Atesh enters the office and silently sits down at the desk. Asli suggests going out to dinner in the evening, and Semel agrees. Atesh refuses, saying they can go without him. He has things to do. He admits he's worried because he still doesn't know whether Mercan has arrived. Semel advises him to call his contact in London. Just then, Atesh's phone rings. It's his man in London, informing him that Mercan did not arrive on the flight Atesh mentioned. Atesh jumps up in shock, saying this can't be true.